Local author first brought us a story about a 1960s multiracial love triangle in South Africa. His new novel, a sequel, also takes place in South Africa post-apartheid. It's a fictional story about the country's 1996 hearings about crimes relating to human rights violations. Now, to tell us more about that, we welcome Baron Metz of Hummelstown with his book, Truth and Conciliation. Welcome to the show, Baron, and just kind of give us a general idea of what's happening in this book. You know, no big teasers, obviously, but you know, what's the story about?
Well, thank you very much first for having me.
Sure.
And so after the success of Immorality Act that you just talked about, which relates about a multiracial love triangle that falls foul of apartheid law at a time when the Republic of South Africa was being formed in 1961. I wanted to find a pivot point in recent South African history to situate the sequel to Immorality Act, which is then, of course, Truth and Conciliation. And I've always had an enormous respect for Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who was asked by Nelson Mandela to helm the Truth and Reconciliation Commission hearings, which were one of the first in the world. So I situated the fictional story, of course, around the Truth and Reconciliation Commission hearings, which were held in Cape Town during 1996.
Yeah, obviously a very tough time in history, and you write this fictional story about it. But tell us about some of the characters, perspectives you brought into the book. Obviously, there's got to be a lot going on, right?
Yes, so I wanted to tell the story from both the black as well as the white perspective. And so I created two main characters. The one, Tembisa Dlamini, is a Xhosa police detective who meets with and sets up a relationship with Peter Marais, who is an Afrikaner doctor. They're trying to solve a crime. Both of them have been scarred by South African violence. Tembisa Dlamini during the 1976 Soweto riots, and Peter Marais during the course of being a conscript on the during the Angolan border war, where he suffers, or somebody gets killed next to him, and he develops PTSD.
Sure.
And so the book then hinges around whether a crime committed during the apartheid era will bring Tembisa and Peter together or rip them apart.
Interesting. So obviously a lot of conflict, a lot of drama. Why did you write this book? So you as you mentioned, you dovetailed it off your first book, but what was the motivation behind these?
Yes, so I wanted to tell a story, an important story too, of course, to South Africa. So the book starts off where Immorality Act left off. And so we meet a nursing sister, Promise Madiba, and her friend, Maya de Koning, who was a prostitute, and they're living in District 6, together with Promise's son. And District 6 is then ready for destruction. In other words, it is a forced removal. And the commanding officer is a man by the name of Peter Marais. And Peter Marais visits the house and basically is in charge of destroying the house.
Oh, interesting.
Promise Madiba resists and gets taken away. And then Peter Marais offers the proposal of marriage to Maya de Koning, who at the time is colored. And he says that it is within his power to classify her white. And so that will be far better for the boy that has remained with her.
Got it.
Growing up. And so this launches the story. And Maya then takes the Faustian bargain and marries Peter Marais. But Peter Marais had created one condition, and that was that the boy be named Peter Marais instead of Willem Jansen and never be told the truth. And so the story unwinds then between two Truth and Reconciliation Commission hearings that were held in Cape Town in 1996.
Well, Baron, thank you so much for being here, detailing your book.